Welcome to Season 4, Episode 4 of the Film Bros Championship Podcast. I am Patrick, and with me is my co-host, Tim. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right. You know, it's Shaggy time.
Yeah! I got so excited.
Did you notice it right away? I was like,
right away.
Is that Shaggy?
First thing I was like, Shaggy? It's a John Peters movie? Oh, we are in!
Those were my two first notes, too.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Shaggy time.
Shaggy.
We're in the 90s.
Yeah.
Feeling it.
You feel it with the title credits and everything, the John Peters of it all, and you're just like, oh, there's got to be a story here.
Yep.
It was one of my
I
things.
literally paused the movie, went to IMDb trivia, I'm like, where's the John Peters story?
And
disappointed.
It delivers every time, man.
Yeah. I wish someone had said he had asked somebody, you know, like, we're from the streets.
I love it.
So we watched Money Train.
Money Train. Train is coming. Woo.
So what'd you think? I haven't seen Money Train in forever. What'd you think?
Not since very long ago. I feel like HBO run or something. I probably saw some.
On HBO.
I think there's some nostalgia that I enjoy and can appreciate for this movie, and then there's other bits that I'm like, okay, like it gets some hits, some places, you know, like it's. Yeah.
It's a little messy.
Yeah.
It's a fun movie, but it's not a great action movie.
Yeah. The chemistry of our two stars is doing a lot of heavy lifting.
By far.
Like a lot.
Wesley and Woody both got $5 million each to be in this movie, and they earned it.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
Without them, woo, I don't know what I'm watching without them.
They are they're acting, they're directing, they're producing, you know, they're the DH, they're the pitcher, you know what I mean? They're everything for this movie.
Yeah. Well, no, hold on.
Okay.
I don't want to just throw away Jennifer Lopez in her first big movie. And two,
is this the first one?
Yeah.
When did Selena come out?
Afterwards.
After? Okay.
Yeah. And let's not forget one of the creepiest and weirdest villain performances from Robert Blake.
Yeah. I didn't see much credits after this as well.
It was like this and Lost Highway. And and then there was that whole murder thing he did. That was a problem.
Yeah.
He's dead now, so he can't get mad at me for saying he's a fucking murderer. I know he was acquitted or declared not guilty in a legal trial, but his ass was guilty, found liable in a civil one, just like OJ.
Just like OJ, yeah.
Yeah, he did it.
Oof.
Yeah, he killed his wife. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Yeah, we'll try not to dwell on that.
No, well, you know, it only adds. Well, I'll watch it. It's like, oh, this guy killed somebody. It's all extra weird watching this performance.
Yeah, even though he's kind of like a smaller-ish guy there, you know, he's still pretty intimidating.
Well, it's just like, it's fun. I had the same reaction as the characters. Like half the things he said, I'm like, what did he say? What?
Yeah.
That ain't right.
Yeah, I think what's one of my favorite parts of their back and forth is after one of those altercations with him.
So our heroes are John and Charlie Robinson, two foster brothers who grew up to become New York transit cops in the decoy unit. I watched Pelham taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
was I don't know, a week before this, so it was really funny to watch. Hey, we're back with the transit cops. I'm like, from Walter Matthau to Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, but these guys are the best.
Right.
You gotta love that trope.
I did. But like, it's sorry, in taking Pelham 1, 2, 3, it's Walter Matthau and Jerry Stiller are like the two big cops in the movie. Like, from them to these guys, like, oof, things have changed in 20 years. Their go-to move on this decoy unit is to appear drunk and helpless and wait for unsuspecting thieves to try and rob them.
Wait, is this our plot description right now? Or are we just going into hero?
I just went into the hero. Sorry, you're right. My bad. Everything's screwed up because
we swapped things, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. I picked the movie too, so I probably shouldn't have done it in this movie. So sorry, yeah. Money Train. Money Train is about two cops who decide to rob the money train.
Kind of.
One of them reluctantly so.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, let's go.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so they act drunk and helpless, wait for unsuspecting thieves to try and rob them and catch them in the act. John's foster mother took Charlie in when John found Charlie on the street, and they were Reyes brothers, which confuses an unfortunate amount of people because John is black and Charlie is white.
Very clearly so, yeah.
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 John is played by Wesley Snipes, and he's the straight-laced, by-the-book brother who has his shit together and is the real action hero.
Right.
Charlie, played by Woody Harrelson, is the black sheep screw-up brother with a bad gambling habit but a good heart. And among the worst haircuts Woody Harrelson has ever had on film.
Yeah.
Or television.
It's pretty bad. I mean, they try to limit the amount of times where he's not wearing a hat, at least.
I think the Kangol hat made it look worse, to be honest.
Probably.
Like, more forehead. And the hair's still coming out the back.
Yeah. It's not great. It's not the best look.
So the movie basically opens up with a little chase scene. And the brothers just playfully teasing each other.
Yeah.
And Wesley and Woody's chemistry just makes their bond instantly believable. You're just like, yep, brothers. I believe it.
I mean, yeah, this is purely like, hey, you guys are really good in White Man Can't Jump, so let's try to do this again and recapture this.
Their third and final collaboration, because they did Wildcats first.
Oh, that's true, but it wasn't exactly the same.
Yeah, not exactly a lot of scenes together, but still.
Yeah.
Just saying, this is their third and final.
Fair enough.
It's clear that robbing the money train is something John and Charlie have talked and joked about long before the movie even begins.
Yeah.
It's just fun for John, and he assumes the same for his brother, but Charlie takes the idea much more seriously and even more so throughout the movie.
Yeah, periodically you'll see John's like, okay, back to Earth now. You know, it's just like that's just talk. Like, we're not actually going to do that.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I love in the beginning where Charlie hustles John for cash, saying he wants to buy him a Christmas present.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
And John's just like not buying the bullshit, and John's like, "Where's your Christmas spirit?" He's like, "In your pocket."
There's like a few good lines. I'm trying to remember. There was another funny one in there too. Darn, I wish I remember it off the top of my head like you do.
I don't remember off the top of my head. I take notes, baby.
I do too, but man, yours is much better organized, I guess.
Yeah, that's why it takes me like 4 hours to watch an hour and a half, 90-minute movie.
Oh, I like
pause, write down all the notes.
He says, I think it was, I love you. That's why I'm buying you a present. You love me. You let me keep my money.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, and then the Christmas spirit in your pocket thing comes up after that, which is that's a pretty funny part.
So Charlie, of course, does not use the money to buy a Christmas present,
Nope.
and instead loses bad playing cards and calls John for help. And Charlie is being held by his ankles over the edge of a building, and John shows up with the $300, and then is told like Charlie owes $15,000. Like,
Drop him.
15,000? Drop him.
No time to be cheap.
These guys don't have a sense of humor. Yeah. Shout out to Vincent Pastore, aka Big Pussy, over there in the Goon Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tim doesn't know who I'm talking about because he didn't watch The Sopranos like a loser.
Yeah, but I think I know what you're talking about. Just by visual cues.
Visually, there's only one person who could possibly have been called Big Pussy in that group, huh?
Yeah. Well, anyway, I do. Well, just because I know some of the people that have been in that show and periodically see them over and over again playing the
not the
similar
last Sopranos
but,
cast member we'll talk about today.
Yeah. I do like afterwards where he's like, he's a changed man now. At being hung upside down, he's
he obtained Buddha
consciousness.
He promises John he'll never gamble again. And John bets him $10. He's full of shit and tries to make it 20. You're proving my point.
I was kidding.
Yeah. John and Charlie get a new team member early on in this movie, Grace Santiago. She is smoking.
Very pretty.
His job is looking up.
Yeah, there's a few funny lines. Again, it's some good humor in this movie. Even like the little bit where like John's walking out in the the attire to get jumped, and then it's like, oh yeah, where's your drunk walk? And then he starts doing it. It's just little humor throughout, which is always funny. But yeah, even the bit where he's like, "This job's look it up."
Grace is excited to be in Manhattan, working with Charlie and John, who she hears are the best.
The best. They're the best. The transit cop.
And I enjoyed Charlie's like responses, like, "Oh, modesty prevents me from." Well, no, actually, we are the best. It's like oh, that cliche shitty line, and then Woody Harrelson just wins me over. I'm like, oh, well, that's fine. It's okay.
Yeah, he makes it work.
Yeah.
What did you think of John's referencing of was it Jack Daniels being very strong and needing to chase it with a beer? What did you think about that?
I literally wrote down, John is a bit of a wuss.
As she just like pounds it.
Yeah, it's Jack Daniels. It's a starter drink.
It's like, Jack is strong? What?
I wrote that down. Like, what? No.
To be fair, he was just going to drink Jack, I think. And then he sees her. He's like, oh, she probably doesn't drink. So let me order the beers to be the chasers. And yeah, I don't know. But it's still weird.
Later on in the movie, Charlie is drinking Jaeger. I'm like, these guys have terrible taste in booze.
Yeah, they're all like college guys that somehow are in transit cop roles. I don't know.
Yeah. These guys who can afford to drink brand label and live in very spacious New York apartments.
Yeah.
And yet have no money. I don't know. John held like $15,000 in savings just cause.
I guess he wasted it all on gambling and booze.
I guess so, but he still had that kick-ass apartment. I mean, that's a huge apartment for Charlie.
Was it his? I thought he was back using. No, I guess he at one point he does
go.
See
Charlie's apartment.
You do. Yeah, towards the end.
John has a huge apartment too.
Yeah.
Charlie's is also very nice, despite being like a shitheel.
Yeah.
I love John's turn to be fake drunk decoy, and Janice Soprano and her friend are trying to take fake drunk John home to date rape him.
Yeah. And he's like still trying to act the part. No.
And Grace comes out and does like the fake drunk act to save John and scares the girls away. And John, fake drunk, whispers, "They were huge." Yeah, and I wrote down the Grace doing the pinball machine like she's trying to break it.
Yeah.
Orders her Jack Daniels, like, look out, it's strong. Like, not even for a freshman college girls, it's strong. What are you talking about?
It's so weird.
Charlie shows up with a rose for Grace and suggests John go buy everyone another round of drinks since Charlie has that cash flow problem. Oh, you mean you're broke?
You're broke.
And John just goes to get the drinks, and Charlie continues talking to Grace.
It's too bad he's
a great guy. Yeah. And really nice double take by Jay. Like, what?
Yeah, and I really like when John goes to talk to that other guy at the bar and questions him about his brother. And then as he, like giving the like, oh, they won't leave if you feed them kind of deal, which was kind of funny. And then he's like, stay black. And he's like, man, I got no choice. I just thought it was a really funny line.
Later on, you got Charlie and John start teasing each other about who has a better shot at Grace. And John points out that she didn't even keep the rose that Charlie got her.
Yeah, he's like, that is fucked up.
I loved it. And then Charlie and John get into an argument. Charlie feels that John has to be the best and beat him in everything, and John likes it that way. Yeah. John does his best to deflect the conversation, but can't help himself from Riley pointing out that Charlie is his own worst enemy.
Yeah.
And then the argument gets really heated up, and D'Angelo Barksdale shows up with a couple of other thugs.
Yeah.
To try to rob the brothers. And Charlie and John pull out their own guns and start arguing again, and eventually they pull their guns at each other, which freaks the thugs out, and they run away.
Well, you gotta love, you love how, like, they pointed at them, and then they pointed back at each other, and, like, basically ignore that they're there. But it's a really great moment, too, just to see, like, they clearly were having a legit, real fight and argument, and they're, like, easing back into being loving brothers there right after the fact. Like, they're amused of what happened, but then, like, you can kind of see it.
as a brother,
Yeah.
I recognize this. Like,
Right.
Yeah, this just feels,
This feels real.
I haven't been in this situation, but I have done these play fights before. We're like, it's got a little serious, and then we're just gonna bring it back.
Yeah, but there's like that feeling out phase of trying to tone it back down.
You weren't really gonna shoot me, were you? Hell no. Were you gonna shoot me? I don't know. You had that Alabama look in your eye. You're lucky I didn't have a fire hose.
So good.
And in the spirit of brotherly love, John promises to not pursue Grace and leave her to Charlie.
Yeah.
It's a nice try.
Yeah.
Um,
What was there was one of the moments too in that argument, by the way, I forgot. He was mocking him about like, I stole your ice something or whatever record or whatever. It's like Ice Cube. Yeah, I thought it was really funny.
this is where I have to pause and talk about excuse me, Donald Patterson real quick.
Yeah, you ready for
because
that?
Because it leads into the line that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
So at one point, the bad guy.
Yeah.
Let's see, where was it? I'm sorry. No, before that. No, I don't remember where it is. Damn it.
Isn't it right after they have to sit, because they're like men short, so they had to sit on the money train?
Fuck it.
Right.
I don't remember.
I think.
I thought so.
Yeah, I think it's right
Sorry
after
about all
that.
this.
And it's after he does the Santiago thing, and then he says some kind of a line about fucking you damn dead or dead damn or something, or dead damn dead or whatever.
I'll fuck you dead. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they do.
Hold on.
Do you got the lines?
Yeah, I have it. I know I did. Let's see. No. This is exciting podcasting. God bless you, Tim, for all the editing you better do.
I hope. It makes it more difficult when we're on video.
Oh. Right.
This might be the technical.
Oh, here we go.
difficulty
Okay.
question. Oh, here we go.
So, Patterson tells John and Charlie the money train is light by $25,000.
Yeah.
And he assumes it's Charlie because he knows all about his gambling habits and debt. Turns out a collection agent took it and made a full confession. Charlie decides to twist the knife and ask Patterson about what happened to his money train model that Charlie had stolen earlier in the movie. And then he tells... Patterson goes in and was like, "You're right on the edge. You're a wreck looking for someplace to happen. I'll be there and I'll fuck you dead." Which is just like...
What?
And then they start chatting it up afterwards. They're leaving. They're coming up, and they're like, "Do you think he wants to fuck us before we're dead or after?" I understood after we're dead. That's when he wants to fuck us. Either way, it's a pain in the ass.
It's a great back and forth.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
I mean, again, like almost all of their back and forth is a lot of fun. It really is.
It's the best part of the movie.
Yeah. I mean, it does get a little redundant after a while because it's kind of the same shtick over and over again, but it's still a pretty good time.
You know, considering this is the last time they worked together, I was just reveling in it.
Yeah.
Like, so eventually at the bar, Charlie and John start chatting it up about robbing the money train. Because Charlie notices a hatch underneath the train and a construction in the tunnel where they could pop out in Central Park and just walk away free. And he's like, "We could be boat people, richer." And Charlie says, like, the best time to rob the money train is New Year's Eve. It'll be loaded. It'll be fat. Where'd you learn that word? MTV Rap. I'm trying to keep up with my heritage. It's bad.
But it's funny because, again...
But it's supposed to be bad, so so John can laugh at him.
But it's also Woody Harrelson. Like, the charm of it is just too much fun.
I think this is where he says somewhere in there, like, "I'm black and I'm proud," or whatever.
Yeah, I think so. I think that was in the trailer, too.
Yeah.
And then I love when he starts shushing him.
I love John pulling his gun on Charlie for jumping on his bed and chanting, "It's time to get up in the morning."
Oh, yeah.
I have fantasized about doing that ever since seeing this movie for the first time. Just like someone trying to wake me up in the morning.
Yeah.
John's legendary brother shit just gives Charlie $15,000 that he somehow has saved up on a New York Transit cops.
Maybe he's been saving up for a while. He gave him his savings. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, legendary brother shit.
Yeah.
But I honestly, in my opinion, I think he did it because he wants to pursue Grace guilt-free. He's like, if I do this for you, you can't say shit later.
True. That's a good
me in
point.
my head where I'm like, yeah.
That's your head canon, but I think it's fair.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then poor Charlie catches one pickpocket on the train, but misses that he's already gotten his pocket picked.
It was an old lady. Yeah.
And loses the 15 grand. And then, good God, if a horny Jennifer Lopez appears at your door, no human being alive could resist. Just, no, it's not happening.
Yeah.
And it's rough to watch Charlie getting his ass kicked while John and Grace are fucking, but at least there's some boobs.
It's true.
It softens the blow.
Softens the blow, yeah. It's your change sex scene with him getting pummeled over and over again. And then, but the worst about it is, like, you're right. He finishes getting his butt kicked. He goes back to his brother's place and then catches, the aftermath, should we say? Yeah. So then it was just like, oh,
yeah, it's just like worst night of his life.
Well, I mean, that's the one thing you got to appreciate with the movie, even though it's a bit too light on action for sure. They do really make you understand why he ends up robbing the money train. Because he literally loses everything.
Yeah. Yeah, he's lost his job soon after. And then...
Yeah, basically he's drinking on the job that leads to a mess up.
Yeah, because of catching this, because of this awful night that he had, he starts drinking. He shows up drunk to work. He screws up, gets fired. I love him at the bar. Frank, do you happen to know why blind people don't skydive? No, why? Well, I'll tell you for one thing, it scares the shit out of their dogs. And he's like
tough crowd, Frank.
He's building this shot glass tower.
Yeah, he's really excited when he accomplishes it.
No bartender alive would allow him to do this.
No.
Yeah, that's where we find out he's doing Jaeger bombs.
Yeah, which is weird because he wanted another.
The brothers Robinson have terrible taste in booze.
For sure.
And then fast forwarding towards at the very end of the movie, John and Charlie try to play it cool after they have successfully escaped the money train.
Yeah, and didn't get caught.
Yeah. But Patterson runs into them looking for the criminals, trying to find them. He's like, "What the fuck are you guys doing here? You're not even cops anymore." And John and Charlie pretend they just arrived on the scene to offer help. But Patterson takes the time to just dress them down. There's a little Patterson line. Hey, Sweet how's your cock working now? You ain't got a badge no more.
Yeah, it's a weird line.
It's like what human being says that? And it's just like John's like, what? Which I really appreciate because like that's how a human react to hearing someone else say that.
Yeah. Well, he's always so good. Wesley Snipes is always so fantastic at delivering that kind of a line. Like what are you talking about? Like what? Like, are you out of your mind? Yeah, there's, and you already know what I'm referencing, right? So it's just he's so good at that.
That's a SUNY purchase education right there. Seat system, baby. So that's when and Patterson like spits into John's face.
Yeah.
And John and Charlie each stop each other from hitting Patterson, and they both hit him together, and he goes flying.
Which is a running joke of sorts, like, where one stops, the other one hits. Yeah. Which is like pseudo actions. Why I didn't talk about it.
Right. It's like,
yeah.
I think it's a better character moment than an action moment.
But yeah, you find out at the end he did convince him to not take the money, and then at the end he like touches his chest and he finds out like
they're hugging it out like
what is this?
What did you do?
What is this?
Yeah.
He's like, I put on some weight or whatever, and so he unzips and he actually snuck away some money and then fighting again.
End of the movie.
Yeah.
They're
credits
arguing about it,
which is ending on what the strength of the movie is.
Yeah, I gave this category a 4. It's my highest rated category for the movie.
I did well. Yeah, that's the same for me. it's kind of hard. It's kind of the same thing that you did with the last movie. It's kind of like star power alone and what this person is capable. How do you go lower? But it's not like even. But what I thought this movie did better is it's not bad, like by any means, other than maybe it's a little bit too much of the same over and over again. But it's still a lot of fun every time.
Yeah,
and it seems so genuine and real. So it's a good time.
Yeah, it's these two performances carry the movie. And
it makes me want a legit third one, to be honest. Fourth one. I said a legit. The other one doesn't count. The others don't count. Technically, too,
Football.
they were in
in the rain or in the snow.
They were in, which is I do like that movie, but it doesn't really
Football.
count. They were in what's that boxing movie that Woody Harrelson did?
I wondered about that. Play It to the Bone. If that was originally supposed to be Wesley and Woody.
I
didn't
feel like
see
it probably was.
it.
He's in it though. He's a fan in one of the stands.
Yeah,
so technically, that's another one. It doesn't count. So it's hang.
They don't even have a scene together.
We need a co-starring third movie.
I want it to happen again. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, it could be something completely different characters again. Why not? Go for it.
Yeah. Doesn't need to be an action movie. The first two weren't. So I just want to see them acting against each other again.
Because clearly the chemistry's there. Yeah, I want to see it. What is it like it still after all these years? Who knows? I want to see it.
Yeah, and it's not like Wesley Snipes did anything like I don't know why he's gotten shunned from Hollywood. Like I understand he did the tax evasion thing,
right?
So he had to go to jail.
Well, I think the Blade 3 stuff didn't go very well.
Well, I understand why he got shunned from big budget movies. That's for sure.
Yeah,
and that was in his own making, from what I understand. But still, he served his time and then some. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. had so many more chances than Wesley Snipes got.
True.
This guy's an actual talent. Let's bring him back.
Obviously, he really is a great talent. I'm curious too. Like, was it just the Blade 3 thing that kind of did it? What did he have a knack for even before that of being kind of too much of a jerk or something, and that's just what put it over the edge? I don't know, because it's kind of like that's what some people say, like Barry Bonds. Like, why isn't other steroid users have gotten coaching jobs and so on and so forth? So why hasn't Barry Bonds? And the kind of thing is Barry Bonds has always been a jerk. And he's always treated people horribly, supposedly, and that's a big reason why.
Looking at it, he was already on the path to doing direct-to-video movies even before Blade Trinity.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, he's good.
He is.
He's really good.
He's really good. And he legitimately can do comedy, he can do action, he can do drama. He really can do everything.
Yeah.
Legitimately amazing in everything.
Right, yeah. Spike, what the hell? Bring him back. He was great in a bunch of your movies. Our villain is Donald Patterson, played by Robert Blake, murderer.
Pseudo. Kind of a almost murderer in this movie, too.
Yeah. And I completely forgot he was in this movie.
Yeah.
Bad vibes personified when you see this guy on screen. Like, oh, there's something wrong about this guy.
There's something off, which I think is what they're trying to get across. He's clearly just an asshole.
Right,
first and foremost. Yeah.
He's got this weird fixation about the money train. It's almost like Gollum-like. Mm-hmm. It's like his precious or whatever. It's like gold fever about the money train.
Yeah, he has the purview of the money collection, and somehow that gets him way more purview because of that. It's just he's able to control so much more. So cops on the tracks, no, you're not stopping my train, regardless whether it could get you killed. The money's got to flow.
I wonder if there was a cut subplot of him skimming from it somehow, because he acts like a rich person.
Well, especially when you see him on New Year's Eve and he's coming in with a top hat, and you're like, what?
A top hat and a white scarf. That's the uniform of a rich person on New Year's Eve.
Exactly. I wonder if there's something there with that, too.
Right.
Which would have been interesting, too, if, you did that. Because it's only, not even 2 hours?
No, it's less than 2 hours, yeah.
Yeah, so you could have beefed up, too, Jennifer Lopez's role, and maybe it was part of her arrest at the end or whatever. You know what I mean? It was really an investigation to them or whatever. You know what I mean? She's, I don't know,
Literally her, first big movie, so I understand why they wouldn't want to beef up her role. They didn't know she's going to be a draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and Robert Blake, never has been, at least not since like Beretta or whatever he was on
Right.
On TV. But still, it just would have been nice to have some explanation for why he is so weird about the money train.
I agree.
Like, it's not your money.
Yeah. But somehow he must have gotten some kind of wealth because he's dressed well and, again, top hat at the end.
When I worked retail, I'm like, I never thought of it as my money. I'm like, this isn't my money. This is their money. This is the company's money. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Someone steals this thing, go ahead. I just gotta make sure it counts right and it's not my fault.
Yeah.
Patterson early on is informed that there are cops chasing a suspect on the tracks and has asked for permission to halt all the trains until they're done. Nothing stops the money train.
Nothing. I'm really curious if something like the money train exists. It has to have, right? It
does exist.
Okay. To make this make sense, right? Someone had to have known about it, right? I wonder if like real transit cops or whatever who work on the money train or just watch this movie laughing. Although I guess you're going to tell everybody later about the backlash of this movie, but still, you think there's got to be some humor.
I'll start first off. This was a movie, technically a remake of a French movie. Dealing with the exact same plot of stealing the Paris subway money train.
Okay.
So anyway, they caused the delay of the money train with all their antics, John and Charlie. So they get dragged into Patterson's office. The report says that you're brothers, but you, sir, are a Negro, and he's white. Is somebody trying to jack me off?
Right away is like, oh, wait, what?
And it's just like...
Jack you off? What?
Who says
Negro? Yeah, exactly, yeah, another one. 95,
yeah.
You're saying Negro. Like, what
so
is
late
going
in the game
on?
for that one. It's just like why it's funny when when Wesley Mather...
yeah.
Great. You fuck with my train, I'll kill you. But yeah, we're just laying it down real thick about how much this guy sucks.
Yeah, and they even go even further than that because, again, like almost every post meeting with him, it's the two of them going back and forth about how much he sucks and how much they'd like to do, bad
rob
things or hit him or whatever.
Yeah.
Or rob the money train.
And then later on, Grace gets roped into the office too.
Yeah.
And Patterson's to up his racism a little bit. And tries to make sense of Grace in the group, asking if she's a wife or a girlfriend to either one of them.
She's the sister.
You must be the sister. A white brother, a black brother, and a Latino sister. Really lays on the racism when he says Latino and when he says Santiago.
Yes, he really goes hard for it. Yeah. It is troublesome.
So yeah, then you get the fuck you deadline. Which is really just the beginning of like, well, that's weird thing to say.
Bizarre.
And we get more of them later on.
Yeah.
I gotta say, Patterson, absolutely right to call Charlie out on his shit, and Charlie should have been fired for that bullshit he pulls when he's like, drunk on the job.
Yeah.
But then Patterson demands Charlie beg for his help on his knees, so he's being a massive prick, and you forget that Charlie's 100% wrong here.
Yeah. He almost gets some kids killed.
But then he fires John for, I don't know, being a jerk. It was really unclear. Clearly, the police union would have had John keep his job.
Well, because I wasn't there like another like punch threat or something. I'm trying to remember.
No, he just like mouths off to him.
Yeah,
and he's like, "You're fired too." Like, what? No, you can't fire someone for that. And then
especially because it's New York. There's unions.
That's what I'm saying. And Woody tries, it's like threatens or whatever, and that's where Patterson's like, "Go ahead, take a bite out of me. You'll be licking your asshole for a month to get the taste out of your mouth."
What?
Man, I don't know what to do with that line. Blake makes it sound tough, but it's like a really weird ass thing to say.
It is, but it happens so fast. So it's like thank goodness for Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes to bring your attention to it.
Yeah.
So it's weird. It's like the movie is cognizant and aware.
And then goes on later on when the money train is being robbed. He doesn't know who he's talking to. She's just speaking over the PA in the train. "Listen to me, you sons of bitches. I don't know who you are, but I will get my hands on you, and I will rip a hole in your throat and suck out your heart and eat it."
Yeah. And you gotta love too Woody Harrelson.
Very off-putting about this man
doing the voice like hello, like
yeah, toodaloo. You still get your cut.
Yeah, it's funny.
I want that barricade, sir. That thing's reinforced with steel. They'll be killed. Yeah. And it's just like, Patterson warns Charlie and John about the barricade. I implore you to shut it down and turn yourselves in, or die.
Yeah. And the whatever right hand man or whatever to him is like, wait a minute, what if they legitly can't break and stop? You're putting these people's lives in danger.
Yeah.
And he doesn't care.
And then it gets worse. Bill Nunn is here. Radio Raheem himself. In a Knicks hat, no less.
Yeah.
He's a conductor on another train, a passenger train, and Patterson orders him to unknowingly play chicken with the money train. And that's where you have the line like, sir, what if the money train can't stop? People will die.
Yeah.
That's what we live with.
Yeah. It's a chance we have to take.
Yeah.
To get that money.
Yeah. So that's all I really want to say about Patterson. I want to shout out secondary bad guy, the Torch.
Yeah, I have the Torch in here too.
Yeah, played by Chris Cooper.
Yeah.
Arson robber who squirts gas on the token exchange cashier and threatens to light them up unless they give him the money.
He's not in it for the money though.
Yeah, he takes the money and lights them up anyway.
Yeah. He just wants to see the world burn.
Yeah.
It's like this weird little Firefly-ish like villain almost in this movie.
I'll say both villains, neither one feels like a great physical threat, but they are creepy and eerie to be around.
Because you see him too, like not in the face, but his hands are all scarred and burned and stuff like that. And I mean, obviously he's a great actor too, so it's just that he really gets the eerie creepiness factor real quick. And the enjoyment he has later when he's got a reunion with Santiago, right?
Okay, Patterson. Let's bring it
I'm just saying. I'm sorry, but anyway, it's a fun moment too, where he's like, "Let's kind of finish this kind of deal."
Yeah, I gave this category a 2.5. Something off-putting about them all.
I know, and I think that's what still made them pretty good villains, even though they didn't get to. I mean, Torch, I think, got to be like the somewhat physical threat, right?
Yeah.
And Donald Patterson was not. But I still thought they were both really good in their roles and being like, it's not like you ever went or anything like that. Like, it was still like, I mean, you definitely get like, what? But
the problem with Patterson is like 9/10 of the movie, he's just an asshole.
Yeah.
And, like, that's all he is. And he doesn't really become the villainous until he starts trying to like basically kill the passenger train people.
Yeah.
To save the money train. And then the Torch is kind of like a one-note psycho, where you're just like,
he is.
There's nothing else to this. Like, it's fine. Chris Cooper is good, being eerie. So I was like, this is just like average.
I think you're right.
I could middle 2.5.
I could be swindled to go down lower, but I had it at a 3.
Okay, hey, keep whatever you want. I'm not swindling you.
No, I know, but you're convincing me.
Swindle is like implies thievery.
You're right. You're not trying to trick me. You're right. Wrong use of the or wrong use of word. No, but you're winning me over with your argument. Okay. I did have it at 3 just because
Chris Cooper.
Yeah, Chris Cooper is really good, and I thought he was really awesome in this role.
Yeah,
as small as it was.
Unfortunately, he disowns this movie.
Understand it.
2 months after this movie came out, some guys actually tried the lighting up the token thing.
Yeah.
Token exchange. And the token exchange operator got really badly burned. I assume they lived. I don't know what happened there. But still, like, Bob Dole decided to make this political for some reason.
Yeah.
Bob Dole says, don't see this movie.
Well, I think the whole union or whatever was like, no, we don't want this movie out, and they forced all the posters out of the subway and everything too.
Right, and then Chris Cooper, regretted ever doing the role or whatever. But still, it's not the movie's fault. Sorry, it's just not.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, but at the same time, like that shows you how horrific what it was, which kind of goes, I think, to the villainy here too, right? So, anyway, yeah,
Action.
not a whole lot.
Since nothing stops the money train, it goes ahead and almost runs over Charlie and John in the beginning of the movie while they're chasing the thief.
Yep.
By the time the thief catches up to the train, the security cops assume he's trying to rob it, and they don't listen to Charlie and John pleading with him not to shoot, and they unload on the kid.
Yeah.
And he goes flying.
The squib work is
Nice, right?
yeah, they really got the like blood is coming out of
Blood
the
is going
squibs.
one way, the body is going the other way, like 10 feet.
They were using
He
hand
flew.
cannons, I guess.
Right?
Yeah.
I was impressed. John does a big jump with the train about to go by and is forced to stand between the tracks with both trains going.
Yeah.
And after they're gone, he leaps onto the other platform, shoots out the token exchange window to break the glass. Pissed me off when he turned the gun sideways. Like, that's no cop. You don't do that.
Yeah.
John jumps through the broken window and then takes the operator out of the already open door on the side. Definitely one of those logic is it looks cool, and that's it.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Yeah.
They got to interject action somehow.
Yeah. John puts out anti-flames on the token worker and save her. Grace takes the street entrance to the other platform, confronts the torch on the stairs, and
She's got a nice little roll over the hood of a car to get to the other side.
Right. The fight isn't much of anything. And
No,
he
she
runs
disarms her and like stomps her basically, or not stomps her, but she's pinning her with his foot.
Right.
Before other cops show up. And,
Stretching here with this one.
That's about it. I mean, by the way, I did want to say to the beginning chase scene, I forgot to mention, I did like, again, there was some good humor in that beginning chase that I really liked.
I mentioned in the first category, yeah.
Did you? I just like when he says, come on, Grandma, to John, and then Charlie trips over the bike or falls on the bike, and then he laughs. John laughs. He's like, glad my pain amuses you. Like all that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it absolutely was. That's why it gives you the instant bond of these two. The holiday season decoy squad has to do backup duty on the money train.
Yeah.
With the extra money on the train, $3 to $4 million. Eventually, the two crews start a scuffle. Repeat, but opposite roles of the, hey, you're not going to hit him. Why? Because I'm going to hit him.
But what a cast on this train.
J-Lo beat the shit out of Hank Schrader from Breaking Bad. And John applauds. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you have John and Grace's little... I don't know. That wasn't much there.
With their boxing thing?
I'm trying. They have a boxing match. Wesley looks like he knows what he's doing, and I once again regret never having seen Undisputed. My bad. I love when John gives her an actual punch in the face when she calls him Charlie a fuck up.
Yeah, she actually insults him, and that seems to be something that clearly always sets him off.
Yeah, I get to call him fuck up. Nobody else does.
Yeah, like otherwise he's more evading and getting punched and go, oh, all right, like it's like stuff like that the whole time.
Right,
That's
but he looks like
it.
he knows what he's doing when he's doing it too. And you know what? And Jennifer Lopez, to her credit, looks like she's got a good stance.
Yeah,
this is why dancers always make, and they're both actually professional dancers, trained professional dancers. Because remember, Wesley Snipes was the Bad video with Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
If you know how to dance, you can fight. You can stage fight really well.
Right, because it's just choreographed, right? It's just
exactly.
It's kind of the same kind of gist.
Yeah. So the little boxing thing looks good, in my opinion.
It's fine. There's not really much.
It's not much to it, but
yeah.
I'm just saying I'm trying with this.
We're
one.
trying. There's not much here. Yeah.
You get Charlie showing up drunk to the stakeout, where Grace is the decoy token exchange clerk for a gunpoint robber.
More fire.
Unfortunately for her, the torch is the one casing her out, and he remembers her. Charlie's trying to explain to John that he got robbed from $15,000, and John doesn't believe him because of all his previous lying.
Yeah, fair.
Torch pushes a guy in a Yankee hat onto the track as a distraction. Guess he's a Mets fan. Torch makes his move on Grace, and Charlie eventually notices and calls it in. Grace takes a shot point blank at the glass, but doesn't break.
Right.
Charlie comes in guns blazing. It's a miracle he doesn't hit anybody.
Yeah, he's shooting all over the place.
Which is why he gets rightfully fired. I mean, you should.
Well, yeah, because
you're doing that shit.
Even like when it gets to street side chase, right? He points the gun, and John has to basically, like, what are you doing? Like, stop! Like, can't just shoot out in public. And then he shoots up, and that's when the horse starts going. And he does miraculously do a jump save, right in time to save from the horses. So it's like a little bit of action there of something.
Meanwhile, you know those like. Those hats you wear for like the beer goggles on the hat or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like Chris Cooper has strapped to his chest that he's running around with these little bottles of gas.
Yeah.
It's just very weird to look at. Let's see. John, this whole time, is wearing a beret, like a straight up French beret, and it is weird. He tracks Torch back into the subway, and they fight on the tracks. John has a nice one-handed lift jump kick, which which I liked. And,
he's got a better one later, but yeah.
Well, yeah, that's not like, but he's like lifting himself off the ground and like.
No, I get it. Yeah, cool. I mean, the big gist of this one is he notices the gas leak of sorts or whatever, right?
Yeah, Torch gets John's gun, and you see what happens when you play with fire, and that's where John has the pipe. And he smacks it and lights the gas on fire because it's been leaking everywhere.
And he goes up, and it's some nice.
You get burned.
It's some nice on fire stuff.
It's a good fire stunt.
Yeah,
he's on fire for a while.
He's on legit fire, and then he kind of has to he knocks him into the way of the train, right? And then he has to roll out of in time for himself not to get run over. And it looks like he's legitimately getting hit by a train. Like, it looks pretty good.
He looks like legit he's on fire for a long time.
Yeah. It's good.
Charlie gets cornered by the gambler he lost all his money to and his goons in the bathroom at his favorite bar. And this is where Charlie's at his lowest, just begs them to kill him but the gambler's like, all right, I hate to see you this way. Because you're no good to me this way. I'll never get money. I'll just kill your brother instead. I'll hurt your brother instead.
Yeah.
This is where Charlie loses it. It's like, oh, and to make sure we know that the gambler is a bad person, he throws out the N-word.
Yeah, I noticed that too. That was my... we had to make sure he's a bad guy.
Right. With nothing left to lose and 30 minutes left in the movie, Charlie is now determined to rob the money train.
Yeah, now he's going to do it, right? He comes home this is when we get to see his apartment for the first time. In this spacious apartment, but that's when he comes across the model train.
And Frank, the bartender, somehow knows where John lives.
Yeah.
You might have a problem if the bartender knows where you live.
It's like on Cheers.
I'm trying to remember if any of...
I don't know. You watched the show more than I did. That's for sure.
I don't know if we ever saw...
I know we get to Coach's apartment once, but I don't think that was a customer going there, so...
Yeah, I don't think we ever went to Norm's apartment or Cliff's. So I'm like, I don't know. We went to Rebecca. If you worked at the bar, we went to your place.
Yeah,
but not if you were a customer.
Maybe you're right. You're right. Okay.
Maybe Frazier's. Probably Frazier's. It's been a minute. Almost positive we went to Frazier's, but still.
Okay.
Yeah. So Frank the bartender lets John know about everything that happened at the bar. So John goes to the Gambler strip club to set things straight. Extremely weird, slow strip club music at this strip club.
Yeah, it's not matching up with what people are doing.
And
it's weird.
John, all the goons are wearing full-on tuxedos, which is okay. There is a full-service kitchen in the basement of the strip club.
Yeah. And they're like, oh no, he's upstairs. And John just knows that's not true. He's not upstairs.
Right.
Okay, sure.
He's got the plate lids and he's just beating one.
Oh yeah, that was a nice move.
Lids. Right?
I mean, actually, I liked how he blocked the punches with the lids.
Right, yeah.
I like that part, but then when he comes back and bashes in the middle, I'm like, all right, that seems like more like a comedy action moment.
As I'm watching this, I'm like, okay, this basement of a strip club has a full service kitchen.
Plated tops, which is ridiculous for a strip club, yes.
It's ridiculous for anything that isn't like a 5-star restaurant or a hotel.
Right, exactly, yeah.
we're just getting into a fight with that. But I love the '90s. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I was saying when I was watching this.
Like, the only way to make that even more like 90s kind of slapsticky comedy is if it also made noise. So the bad guy was like, "Oh, my ears!" Like, that's the only way that could have went up to another level. It was just shy of that.
That would have been bad. John just beats the crap out of everyone. Warns that what will happen if anything happens to his brother. Before he leaves...
Wait a minute. There's a really nice move here.
Who you calling ninja? Sorry, I'm not going to say the N-word.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Spin kick through the glass wall is nice.
I actually like one before that.
Oh, go on.
I do. Sir. It's the guy he takes out. He's got him pinned against the mirror. The mirror breaks for a little bit. He like breaks away from him, but he does this like pretty big off the ground jump and knee to the face to knock the guy out. That I was like, whoa. Like, that was actually a really nice, like, move. Like, it looked real. It looked quick. And it really looked like he got a lot of lift off the ground with the knee and everything. And I was like, oh, that was a really nice move. And I really liked that before he did the spin kick.
Good call.
But it's, like, the most, like,
action
of the whole movie. And it's all you're going to get. Because the rest of it is just, like, model stunt spectacular kind of stuff the rest of the way, like where they're just like, we're just gonna stand here in the train now. But yeah.
So John goes back to the bar and Charlie left a present for John. It's the model money train. John doesn't want to help, but Grace guilts him into it. So Charlie lets the money train roll over
because he's gonna kill him. He knows. She just knows.
Cuts the grate underneath that he spotted early, and Charlie steals the train while the guards are off the train collecting more cash. John is somehow surprised he can't ride his motorcycle into Times Square on New Year's Eve.
But still somehow does?
Brilliant. He goes down to the subway on the motorcycle. Downstairs, opens a gate with it. Just like knocks it, gate open.
Yeah.
Goes down an escalator, and then a nice little jump onto the tracks. Harder than it looks.
You know, the problem I have is with whatever outfit they have him in, mixed with the bike they have him riding, and the helmet they decide to have him onto, it is the most unflattering, doofiest look. It's like,
really?
How do you make this man not look good? It's Wesley Snipes. The man looks amazing no matter what. Like, how do you make him look this bad?
I bring you back to the beret they had him in earlier.
That's true. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Like, what is that?
It's a good point.
Somehow Woody Harrelson get the Kangol, which looks a million times better than that ridiculous beret that Wesley Snipes has to wear earlier. Charlie's about to get away with at least $1 million, but some cops are chilling on horseback near the exit in Central Park.
Yeah.
So Charlie has a little freak out and gets back on the train where John is waiting for him. John tries to convince him to bail, get free now, but Charlie won't, and cops come, so they both have to get away on the train.
Right. And now he's got to convince him to leave, basically, and not take the money, but they have a psycho villain kind of making sure that is not going to happen in any easy way.
Yeah, John says, fuck it, cut the brakes, and make the train go even faster. And when they see the barricade...
Because they have the little stop brake things that they're going to pop up, so to get through them, they're like, let's get rid of our brakes, basically.
Release the brakes, yeah. They run to the back of the train and brace themselves when they see the barricade. Cops waiting for them to unload on the train.
Yeah.
It's just like...
There's shotguns, there's machine guns, like every kind of, like, just fire...
No avail. The train plows right through the barricade.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Money Chain rams into the passenger train that Patterson refused to divert, and they're smashing the caboose.
Yeah, a few times. There's like a few little rams into there. So it's all right.
The gas is broken. There's nothing they can do. John says they have to hit reverse, causing the money train to derail, but saving the passenger train.
Yeah.
Charlie rigs a pull against the reverse throttle, so when the train hits it again, it will cause the money train to reverse and derail. But
For whatever reason, too,
John and Charlie a chance to jump off the train.
This time, though, between ramming sessions, it's a particularly longer time for it to get the speed up to ram again. Like, there was multiple really quickly to start, and then there's like a real long stretch in between the next one.
Gives John and Charlie enough time to climb on top of the train.
Have a slip where John has to save him, and,
So, they get up there. Train hits one more time. They jump. Money train derails and goes on its side and flips like 50 damn times.
Really I liked it. Yeah.
Gorgeous miniature work.
It is nice, yeah.
Patterson looks like he just watched a family member get killed.
Yeah.
And that is the end of the action.
Yep.
It's not great.
It's not. There's just not enough here.
I'm really impressed with all the train stuff.
Yeah. I mean, when they have action, it's not bad. It's just...
This movie boasts the distinction of having one of the largest sets ever constructed for a film.
Right, because they did it all in L.A., right?
Yeah, they made this giant set. It's over 3,000 feet long, 20 feet high, and 4 railway tracks wide. The set was roughly the same size as 2 Empire State Buildings lined side by side.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's really impressive, the set they built. So
they got legit trains, didn't they, too?
From New York.
From New York. And I think I saw something about them sending one back or something, and it's still at Coney Island or something.
Yeah, it's like in the museum.
I want to see that train. That's the money train, kids.
That's the money train. I gave this a 2.5, mostly because I'm really impressed with the stunt work. Oh, the set work. Yeah,
I agree. That's exactly what I gave it to. I think some of the set work and some of the stuff at the end, and then of course it's like
it looks cool. It never looks cheesy.
Yeah, and thank goodness they gave us at least one scene of Wesley Snipes being able to kick butt. Could have used more of that, but yeah.
Yeah. Supporting characters really just wrote up J-Lo.
There's really nothing else here.
Jennifer Lopez.
I just want to say, I guess some of the gangsters they put down, maybe Frank the bartender, maybe, and then it's like, it's just Grace.
Characters.
It's just Grace. Yeah.
Grace transferred over from doing decoy for 6 months in the outer boroughs, but she's excited to be in Manhattan and working with Charlie and John.
She's still from the Bronx. She's still from the block, Patrick.
Still from Jenny from the block. Yeah, John. Lopez and Snipes have nice, easy chemistry together.
They do.
Grace saying this has got to be a first. Guy cares more about his brother than he does himself. Grace is clearly an only child, and she best shut her mouth.
Aww.
I think JLo's best scene is where she acts fake drunk. And angry at the 2 women.
Oh, because it's just kind of fun. Yeah, it's just kind of fun.
Yeah, I think that's where she gets to be explosive and fun. But she's good in the movie.
I think you still see her clearly, I think, more charming and trying to get John than the other way around, obviously.
Yeah, it's a shame we didn't get to see any of that date with her and Woody.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen a little bit of that. But... I really enjoyed all our scenes with Wesley Snipes, and
she's never bad. It's just weird, especially the ending part where they're kind of shoehorning her in with her car chasing after where they're
listening
going.
To everything on the street, in the car.
It's like okay, this, and then the random arrest at the end, where she arrests the bad guy, but it's just like
Patterson for pulling the bullshit. With
this is so weird. Like it's so weirdly shoehorned. It's like, why are you even here? And
doesn't even remotely bother me because I am never sad to see Jennifer Lopez in front of me.
That's fair.
Pleasant to look at.
She is. That's for sure.
Always has been. Always will be.
I actually think she's a good actress. She's actually a good actress. She is.
In like a year or two time, we get to see her in Out of Sight, which is one of the best movies ever made, in my opinion. Absolutely.
I know you'd love that movie.
So fucking good. Blows me away every time I watch it.
No, she's good. She's good.
So I gave it a 2.5. It's an underwritten character. It just is, and she does her best she can with it.
I went lower. I went 2.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So my final score is an 11.5.
That's what I have it at.
Look at that.
Yeah. So we're simpatico there.
So as I mentioned before, as Tim and I both mentioned before, got really excited when I saw this produced by John Peters. Because I knew there had to be one good John Peters story.
There is.
According to Robert Blake, his first meeting with John Peters consisted of Peters wrestling Blake to the ground. When they asked Peters about this at the premiere of the movie, John said it was because he wanted to see if Blake would lose his temper.
Wow.
John Peters. I don't know.
He's got a unique way of looking at everything in the world.
Yeah. Cameron Diaz and Catherine Zeta-Jones auditioned for Grace.
Okay.
They went with J-Lo. Supposedly, Catherine Zeta-Jones turned it down because she didn't want to do the nudity. But from what I also read, that the sex scene came like well into production. They decided to write that in. So I don't know if that's true or not.
Huh.
I got really excited about seeing Enrico Colantoni, Keith Morris,
Yeah.
as like the head of the Money Train.
Yeah.
Never would see him again. Dean Norris, Hank from Breaking Bad, Vincent Pastore, Big Pussy from The Sopranos, and Ada Totoro, Gina Soprano, and Lawrence Giller Jr., D'Angelo Barksdale in this. That was fun for me.
Yeah. There's a lot of interesting parts, yeah.
Budget of $68 million, a little over $140 million today. Worldwide gross of a little over $77.2 million, a little over $159.3 million today. So, it did fine.
Okay.
Did fine. Just basically made back its money. Maybe a little less, considering if you think about advertising and everything.
Right, yeah.
It debuted at number 4 in its debut weekend, losing to Toy Story in its debut weekend, but beating out Casino and Nick of Time in their debut weekends.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
You know it was number 2 that week, Tim?
What?
GoldenEye in its second week of release.
GoldenEye. Yeah. Gotta love it. Getting your teeth there now. I do find this. So you have this as your second ranked movie now.
Yeah, I have Cutthroat Island ranked above it.
Wow. Yeah, we have very interesting swap. Like, I don't think we have anything the same. Yeah, I have Sudden Death, Mortal Kombat, Money Train, Cutthroat Island. You have Cutthroat Island, Money Train, Mortal Kombat, Sudden Death.
So what are we watching next week,
Tim?
Tim?
It's the opposite. That's crazy. Okay, so my pick is... and I feel like this is kind of weird because I'm one to hate this genre, but it is a genre that I dislike, but I remember liking this movie quite a bit, so I'm curious to revisit, and that is The Quick and the Dead.
Oh, all right. Let's get Sam Raimi on.
Yeah. I think it should be fun, right? I mean, it's so...
Baby Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah.
Baby Russell Crowe?
It's just
Gene Hackman doing Gene Hackman things. Sharon Stone
stylistically
smoking
cool
hot
movie too. It's just and it's just maybe because of the style that he brings in his movies. It's maybe why it just doesn't quite it feels different. It's not your normal Western, and maybe that's probably why I dig it.
It's a Western. We're gonna make a Western, but it's gonna be just all shootouts. Showdowns every time.
Let's do it.
Okay, sure.
Yeah,
this is definitely something that could happen on American soil if they would have allowed. But,
cool. I'll take it. Yeah, I'm down. I'm excited for it, man. It's
can't wait to watch.
So yeah. And we also have to make sure that we don't forget to include
body mass.
Body mass alone.
Body mass alone, Tim.
I don't want to have conversations anymore about dudes' physiques.
Dennis,
and whether they can...
body mass alone.
That's what I was trying to avoid. A conversation about body mass.
Okay.
So only one bringing the beef this week, I think, was really Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, unless you count
J-Lo. Maybe
J-Lo's in pretty good shape, I guess. But it's not like
Fly
she's
girl still.
But it's really it's Wesley Snipes. But you only really see him in the boxing scene and in the sex scene where you get to really kind of see it. Otherwise, it's New Year's, it's Christmas. They're very clothed in this movie.
Very.
Yeah, so they're not really showing off the guns much in this movie at all, exception of, I guess, again, the boxing scene and
the boxing scene, yes.
And the sex scene. There's a lot of Wesley Snipes back in the sex scene. But yeah, I went 4.
You know what? I'm gonna give it a 5 because J-Lo got naked. J-Lo got naked. So, thank you.
Fair enough.
That was the mass I most appreciated for this movie.
Okay.
Thank you for your nudity.
We all appreciate it. Yeah.
I suppose it was a difficult and unpleasant process for her, and I do feel bad about that. But
yeah, it never makes me feel good hearing stuff like that. Yeah.
But it was pleasant to look at, and I thank you. Gorgeous woman.
Yeah.
So, I guess we'll wrap up now.
Yeah, okay. That is it for us. Please show your support for the podcast by leaving a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, or wherever you happen to listen to the show. Also, sharing is caring. Be sure to follow us on social media to get the latest show updates. You can contact us by emailing at filmbrochamp@gmail.com or find us by searching for the hashtag FilmBroChamp. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Film Bro Champ podcast. Peace out, everyone.
Oh, fuck you, dead.